Are you or someone you love losing strength without knowing why? There's a shocking truth most seniors don't realize, an everyday habit that's literally dissolving your muscle mass right now. Thousands of older adults are unknowingly accelerating their muscle loss every single day. And the worst part? It's something so common that most doctors don't even think to mention it. This isn't about lack of exercise or normal aging. It's a specific daily habit silently triggering sarcopenia. Welcome to Senior Health HQ. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on sarcopenia, the medical term for that age-related muscle loss affecting millions of seniors across the country. You might be eating well and staying active, yet still notice yourself getting weaker, struggling to get up from chairs, or feeling increasingly unsteady on your feet. If that sounds familiar, listen carefully, because what's happening isn't just normal aging. After analyzing hundreds of research papers, we've identified a common habit that's accelerating muscle loss in seniors nationwide. The evidence is clear and consistent across multiple scientific studies, yet most people have absolutely no idea they're doing it. What we're sharing today could literally be the difference between maintaining your independence into your 80s and 90s or facing years of preventable frailty. We've talked with countless seniors who've reversed their muscle loss simply by eliminating this one habit. Their stories are remarkable: renewed strength, better mobility, and a completely transformed quality of life. In the next few minutes, we'll reveal exactly what this muscle-wasting habit is, why it's so destructive to your body, and most importantly, what you should do instead. This isn't about selling you supplements or expensive equipment. It's about sharing vital information that every senior deserves to know. So if staying strong and independent matters to you, stay with us until the end. Now, before we reveal that everyday habit you need to avoid, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what sarcopenia actually is. What is sarcopenia? The silent muscle thief. Sarcopenia is the gradual loss of muscle mass, strength, and function that happens as we age. But here's the thing. It's not just about looking less toned in the mirror. This goes way deeper than appearance. Most people take their muscles for granted when younger. We expect our bodies to work. We stand up from chairs without thinking, carry groceries without worry, climb stairs without fear. But for many seniors dealing with sarcopenia, these everyday movements become genuine challenges. Let's put this in perspective with some eye-opening facts. Starting around age 30, yes, just 30 years old, most people begin losing 3 to 5% of muscle mass each decade. After age 60, muscle loss accelerates to 1 to 2% per year. Strength declines even faster, about 1.5 to 3% annually. Over a decade after 60, that's potentially 15 to 30% of your strength gone. Think about that for a second. Imagine losing nearly a third of your strength in just 10 years. Tasks that were once simple suddenly become daily struggles. And the worst part, most people don't even realize it's happening until significant damage is done. Sarcopenia isn't some rare condition affecting only a few unfortunate seniors. The statistics are alarming. Affects approximately 10% of adults over 60. Jumps to nearly 50% in people over 80 years old. Studies suggest up to 45% of older adults in the U.S. have some degree of sarcopenia, responsible for an estimated $18.5 billion in direct healthcare costs annually. That's right, half of all people in their 80s are dealing with significant muscle loss. This isn't a minor health concern. It's a silent epidemic affecting millions of seniors nationwide. But sarcopenia isn't actually inevitable. This point needs to be crystal clear. While some muscle changes come with aging, the severe muscle loss that leads to frailty and loss of independence can largely be prevented or significantly slowed down. Now, how does sarcopenia affect daily life? The effects of sarcopenia cascade through every aspect of a senior's life. Let's break down what happens when sarcopenia takes hold. Strength loss. Tasks that once felt effortless become challenging or impossible. Mobility decline. Walking becomes difficult, stride shortens, pace slows. Balance problems. Core muscle weakness leads to instability and fall risk. Metabolic changes. Reduced muscle means fewer calories burned at rest, leading to weight gain. Increased fragility. Bones become more susceptible to breaks and fractures. Energy depletion. Even simple activities cause exhaustion. These physical changes don't happen in isolation. They trigger a domino effect that impacts even the quality of life, that then result into loss of independence, needing help with basic tasks like bathing, dressing, cooking. Social isolation. Difficulty leaving home leads to fewer interactions and loneliness. Psychological effects. Depression and anxiety increase as abilities decrease. Increased healthcare needs. More doctor visits, medications, and potential hospitalization. Financial burden. Healthcare costs for seniors with sarcopenia are 2 to 3 times higher. Caregiver strain. Family members often must step in, creating new challenges. The real tragedy is watching someone's world literally shrink around them. When you can't confidently leave your home, attend social events, or participate in activities you love, life loses much of its color and meaning. Here's something that might surprise you. Sarcopenia isn't actually classified as a disease in many healthcare systems. It's often dismissed as just part of aging. Because of this, many doctors don't routinely screen for it. It frequently goes undiagnosed until advanced stages. Prevention strategies aren't discussed during regular checkups. Treatment options aren't explored until significant function is lost. This medical blind spot is gradually changing as research advances, but we're still not where we need to be. That's why staying informed through reliable information is so critical. Is sarcopenia affecting you or someone you love? Don't wait for a doctor to identify sarcopenia. Be proactive by watching for these warning signs. Strength changes, increasing difficulty opening jars or carrying groceries. Movement difficulties, needing to use arms to push up from chairs. Balance issues, feeling unsteady or wobbly when walking. Body composition changes, loss of visible muscle tone, especially in arms and legs. Energy decline, fatigue that seems out of proportion to your activities. Walking changes, decreasing walking speed or shorter stride length. Weight loss, unexplained weight loss. Remember, muscle weighs more than fat. If you're noticing several of these signs, sarcopenia may already be impacting your life or the life of someone you care about. To understand how to fight sarcopenia, we need to understand what's happening at a biological level. Protein synthesis decreases. Older bodies become less efficient at building new muscle. Hormone changes. Levels of growth hormone, testosterone, and estrogen decline with age. Inflammation increases. Chronic low-grade inflammation contributes to muscle breakdown. Neural changes. Connections between nerves and muscles deteriorate. Mitochondrial dysfunction. The power plants in muscle cells become less efficient. Reduced blood flow. Less circulation means fewer nutrients reach muscle tissue. Understanding these mechanisms helps explain why certain habits can dramatically accelerate muscle loss. And that brings us to the most important part of today's video. But don't lose hope. The most amazing thing about our muscles is their resilience. Research has shown that even in your 80s and 90s, muscles can respond to the right stimuli and grow stronger. People in their 90s have built significant muscle through the right approaches. However, before we can build muscle back, we need to identify what's making things worse. And that brings us to that everyday habit mentioned earlier, the one silently accelerating muscle loss in seniors across the country. Now that we have a good understanding of sarcopenia and how it affects daily life, let's talk about the one habit that may be silently triggering muscle loss for many seniors. And the worst part is, it's something many of us do every day without even realizing it. What's the habit, you ask? Well, it's something simple but incredibly harmful: a sedentary lifestyle. Yes, you heard that right. Sitting too much. It's not just bad for your posture or your back. It's actively contributing to the muscle decline that we just talked about. I know it sounds so basic, but it's true. The longer we sit, the more we compromise our muscle health. Now, I'm not talking about sitting down to relax or catch up on your favorite shows. We all need that downtime. But the problem arises when sitting becomes a habit, when it becomes our go-to way of spending time. Let's break this down a little. When you're sitting for long periods, you're not using your muscles at all. Your leg muscles, core muscles, back muscles, they all go largely unused. And when muscles aren't being activated regularly, they start to weaken, lose mass, and become more prone to atrophy. This isn't just a theory. Studies have shown that sitting for prolonged periods contributes directly to muscle weakness and loss. This is especially true for older adults whose muscles are already under attack from the aging process. Now, this might seem harmless when you're sitting in front of the TV or scrolling through your phone. But when you're doing it day in and day out, for hours on end, that's when the damage starts piling up. And remember, we're not talking about a rare exception here. We're talking about millions of seniors spending hours each day sitting down. Why sitting is so harmful? We can blame this on a couple of things. First, when we sit, there's less muscle contraction. And when muscles aren't contracted regularly, they begin to break down. Our metabolism also slows down, meaning fewer calories are burned and fat builds up. But the real issue is this: muscles need regular activation to stay strong and healthy. Sitting for extended periods robs muscles of the stimulus they need to thrive. In fact, sitting has been linked to reduced blood flow to muscles, which prevents them from receiving the nutrients they need to maintain their strength. Over time, this leads to muscle loss, especially in older adults who are already at a higher risk for sarcopenia. I get it, you're probably thinking, but I do exercise and I go for walks, and that's great. But here's the thing: even regular exercise doesn't fully counteract the damage done by prolonged sitting. Research shows that sitting for long periods still increases the risk of muscle loss, even if you're active in other areas of your life. Why? Because exercise doesn't completely compensate for the hours of inactivity that happen when you're seated. It's the sheer amount of time you're sitting each day that does the damage. The more you sit, the harder it becomes for your muscles to recover, repair, and stay strong. The stats are alarming. You might not think a little sitting is a big deal, but let me hit you with some statistics. A study conducted by the National Institutes of Health (NIH) found that people who spend more than 6 hours per day sitting are at significantly higher risk for developing muscle weakness and sarcopenia. These individuals were also found to have increased risk for heart disease, diabetes, and overall frailty. It gets worse. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, seniors who sit for long periods are more likely to experience a 25% higher risk of falling due to decreased muscle strength and balance. We're talking about a habit that not only accelerates muscle loss, but also raises the chances of injury and a loss of independence. You may be wondering, how does this habit sneak into our lives? Well, technology and modern living have made it all too easy to sit for long periods. Think about it. We sit when we eat, we sit while watching TV, we sit at the computer, we sit in the car, and sometimes we even sit at our doctor's office. It's almost as though sitting has become a default mode of existence. For many seniors, sitting becomes a way to rest or avoid pain. If you're dealing with arthritis, back issues, or other health problems, sitting can seem like a safer, less painful option. But here's the problem. By choosing to sit, you're making matters worse for your body in the long run. Now, this leads us to the most important part of today's discussion. How can you reverse this habit? How do you stop the muscle-dissolving effects of too much sitting? But before we dive into prevention and solutions, let me quickly summarize what we've covered so far. Sarcopenia is a real, growing problem affecting millions of seniors. A sedentary lifestyle, sitting too much, is one of the biggest contributors to muscle loss. Even if you're exercising, prolonged sitting can still damage your muscles, leading to weakness, balance issues, and greater risk of injury. So what's the solution? Now that we know what causes sarcopenia and how the habit of sitting too much is silently accelerating muscle loss, it's time to take action. The good news? You can reverse some of this damage and even prevent further muscle loss with a few practical steps. Let's go over what you can do right now to keep your muscles strong and your body in the best shape possible. 1. Move more. It's that simple. First and foremost, the most important thing you can do is move more. I'm not saying you need to start running marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. It's not about extreme exercise. It's about getting up regularly and incorporating movement into your day-to-day routine. Break up the sitting. If you have a job, a hobby, or daily activities that involve sitting for long periods, set a timer every 30 minutes to remind yourself to get up and move around. Even just standing for 5 to 10 minutes, walking around the room, or stretching your arms and legs can make a big difference. Make it a habit. This simple trick can counteract the muscle-depleting effects of sitting. Daily walking. Now, I know it sounds basic, but walking is one of the best activities you can do to keep your muscles engaged. Studies show that even just 30 minutes of walking every day can maintain muscle strength and prevent the severe muscle loss associated with sarcopenia. Whether it's around the block, through the park, or even around your house, walking is incredibly beneficial for your muscles and joints. 2. Strength training. Build that muscle. The best way to fight sarcopenia is by building and maintaining muscle mass. And the most effective way to do that? Strength training. Don't be intimidated. Strength training doesn't mean you need to lift heavy weights or use complicated gym equipment. There are plenty of simple exercises you can do at home that require no equipment or just a pair of light dumbbells. Here are a few easy exercises that target the key muscles in your body. Squats. They help build leg strength, which is crucial for balance and mobility. Start with bodyweight squats, then progress to holding light dumbbells as you get stronger. Lunges. Another great exercise for legs. Hold onto a chair or countertop for stability, if needed. Wall push-ups. These are perfect for upper body strength. Lean against a wall and push yourself away from it, working your arms, chest, and shoulders. Seated leg extensions. Sitting in a chair, extend one leg at a time, hold for a few seconds and lower. This strengthens the quads, which are important for standing and walking. Don't worry if you've never done strength training before. Start slow and listen to your body. You don't have to overdo it, just aim for 2 to 3 days a week of strength training and gradually increase the number of repetitions or sets as you feel more comfortable. 3. Keep your diet protein-rich. You know how important protein is for maintaining muscle, and as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using it. To build and repair muscle, seniors need a higher intake of protein than younger adults. In fact, experts recommend around 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight for older adults who are trying to maintain muscle mass. Protein-rich foods to include in your diet. Lean meats like chicken or turkey. Fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, which also gives you those beneficial omega-3s. Eggs, a fantastic source of protein and healthy fats. Beans and legumes, these plant-based options are packed with protein and fiber. Nuts and seeds, great as snacks or added to meals. If eating enough protein is difficult, you can supplement with protein shakes or powders. Look for ones that are specifically formulated for seniors, as they often contain additional nutrients to support muscle health. 4. Stay hydrated. Muscle health needs water. We often overlook the importance of staying hydrated, but water plays a major role in keeping muscles functioning properly. Dehydration can lead to muscle cramps, fatigue, and overall weakness. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to dehydration, as the body's sense of thirst tends to decline with age. A good rule of thumb is to drink 8 glasses of water a day, but if you're active or the weather's hot, you may need more. Keep a water bottle with you throughout the day, and try to sip regularly, even if you're not feeling thirsty. 5. Get enough sleep. It's easy to forget that rest is a crucial part of muscle recovery. During sleep, the body works hard to repair and rebuild muscles. If you're not getting enough sleep, your body doesn't have the opportunity to repair itself as effectively, leading to muscle fatigue and weakness. Tips for better sleep. Create a routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day. Limit screen time before bed, as the blue light from phones and computers can interfere with sleep. Keep your room cool. A cool, dark environment helps you sleep better. Avoid caffeine and large meals right before bed, as they can disrupt sleep. 6. Stay social and mentally active. It's not just about physical health. Mental health is equally important for keeping sarcopenia at bay. Staying socially active, engaging in mentally stimulating activities, and maintaining a positive attitude can help reduce the stress that contributes to inflammation and muscle breakdown. Mental exercise ideas. Puzzles or games that challenge your brain. Reading books or articles. Socializing with friends or family, whether it's in person or virtually. 7. Consider professional help. If you're unsure where to start or need extra support, don't hesitate to reach out for professional help. A physical therapist or personal trainer with experience working with seniors can tailor a strength-building routine to your needs. They can also help you improve your posture, flexibility, and balance, which is just as important for preventing falls and injuries. To sum it all up, sarcopenia is a real threat, but it doesn't have to define your life. By taking small, consistent steps, like moving more, strength training, eating more protein, staying hydrated, and getting enough rest, you can slow down or even reverse muscle loss. Remember, it's never too late to start, and you don't need to make huge changes overnight. Every little bit helps, and each step brings you closer to staying strong and independent for years to come. So, the next time you sit down, ask yourself, is this helping my muscles, or is it working against them? Take a break, stand up, stretch, and keep your muscles active. You've got this. Now that you have the tools to fight sarcopenia, it's time to put them into action. Don't wait until you're feeling weaker or struggling to move. Start today. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making small, sustainable changes that will lead to big improvements in your strength and independence. If you found this video helpful, please share it with friends, family, and loved ones. We all need to be more aware of sarcopenia and the steps we can take to prevent it. Let's start a conversation. Comment below with your favorite ways to stay active or what steps you're taking to protect your muscles. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health HQ for more valuable tips and insights on how to live your best, healthiest life as you age. Together, we can take control of our health and keep our muscles strong for years to come. This video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider or a qualified medical professional before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise, or health regimen. Your doctor will be able to guide you based on your personal health needs and conditions.